Hello everyone, my day job is in the data engineering space. Because of that, I've also gotten a little nerdy over the years when it comes to numbers and video games and other things. I like to dig through the data. What are objectively the best guns in the game? I don't like the S tier to say a F tier rankings. They feel a lot more subjective and more up to opinion, which this is going to have opinion in it too, but I at least have it to where you can put numbers to it. First off, I'm excluding the hole cracker and the energy weapon. And that's because they're kind of like their own thing. It's such an outlier. I do like to be able to visualize, say, what I think are some important stats for the game. So damage per mag, and this is averaged regardless of tier for each one of these on this page. So damage per mag, damage, DPS, damage per second, your range. This is also kind of a mask statistic. I'm not really sure exactly how it translates to, say, bullet drop off at certain ranges. Stability is going to be your accuracy when it comes to bloom. So whenever I like running the circle reticle, the bigger the circle, the lower the stability. Agility, that's just how fast you can move based off of what weapon you have. As far as I can tell, nothing's going to be faster than just unarmed. And whenever we look around in here, I like to try to look at things like, okay, we've got these categories. What are the ones that I see most in all of these? Okay, so Torrente, yeah. Pretty obvious it's going to have really high DPS, but it doesn't really pop up as a top weapon in these other categories. Okay, El Toro, yeah, it's going to make sense, stability, damage, but it's got really short range. It actually makes the cut when it comes to agility. Osprey, this is very situational weapon, I would think, but it's got really high damage per mag, but the DPS drops us pretty far down there, but it's not horrible. So this is kind of giving it a once over look, and it makes sense that, you know, high damage is going to be your shotgun and heavy ammo. High agility is going to be your light ammo. Then the hairpin, it really sticks out. So whenever we go look and put a weight to all of this and try to come up with a score. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm taking all of these statistics, calculating them up, and then translating them into a 0 to a 1. For example, the highest damage per mag, and we come over normalized to 0 to 1, Torrente is going to be 1. And you apply that to all of these, okay? And then you come back, and with the weighted score, if we're saying that agility, DPS, arc armor pen, range, damage per mag, stability, damage, and stealth are all equal, okay? They're all equally important, equally weighted. We get this weird hairpin coming out on top with a high score. And I think whenever you play the game, yeah, the hairpin can be good for some PvP situations. It's easy to hit stuff, but it takes forever to kill it. Okay, so the things that really stick out about the hairpin: really, really high stability, really, really high stealth, okay, and really, really high agility, but it's got crap arc armor pen, and the DPS is really low. So let's say we don't care about stealth, right? We don't care about stability. We don't care about agility, right? And this gets us into the situation where, okay, this looks a little more like what you would expect the top weapons to be, right? So Equalizer, Torrente, Volcano. In some cases, the tiers, the values for what gets reduced as far as a penalty versus what gets boosted, kind of throws it around a little bit, to where some of them, depending on what you value, is going to give you a different overall score. And these are not just 0 to 1 on the values. So you could say, like for me personally, okay, damage per mag is really important, right? But it's not as important as DPS in most situations, right? So we're going to throw that down. We'll say that's half as important as we like. Damage per round, I don't really care about that at all, because when I think about it, it's just like I'm not going to really one-shot anything unless it's like maybe with a Pharaoh doing 2-shot. So yeah, we don't care about damage. That doesn't matter. Armor pen, we're saying, okay, this is where it starts to split out, right? Arc armor pen, so there's 5 different categories of armor penetration, right? And so again, I'm going to exclude the hole cracker because just any case, it's the best thing for arc, right? So we're saying, well, if that's not the most important thing, we're wanting some PvP stuff to matter. Let's drop that down to half. DPS we really care about. And we're not going to, we'll say that we don't typically do really long range fights. It's still important. Drop that down to half. But we want it to be to where we're not spraying and praying all the time and need a little bit of stability. So we'll say in mid-range fights. So Volcano, yeah, this is going to be just destroying people in PvP if you're close enough. Okay. Equalizer, rest, looks great. But say we don't care about arc at all, right? We're going to say we're going to run an arc weapon, and that's always going to be the hole cracker. But then we need another one in our loadout that's going to be purely PvP. And that's what I like to do. You don't have to go this way, but this is, like I said, this is all how you want it to look, right? So we'll say we don't care about arc armor pen at all. Moves the Tarante up a little bit. But we want to be able to do some annoying range stuff. Move the range back up. Equalizer moves up a little bit. Drop it down a little bit. But does damage per mag or DPS? I don't know. I don't really like having to tote around and not be able to move that much. So let's say we want a little bit of agility, right? It puts us about the same. But if we say, okay, we want agility to be important, throw it up there. Then you got the Beretta. And I will say, I think for PvP, the Beretta is not that bad, especially if you put a mag on it to where you're going to jump up this damage per mag to a lot more. I think it's pretty good. And that's really how I'm approaching this is, okay, but say we just want to be really annoying, right? We're going to do nothing but long range fights. We're not trying to really kill anybody. We're just being trolls, right? Let's assume that's the case. Let's turn our range all the way up. DPS doesn't matter. Agility doesn't matter. Only thing that really matters is damage and stability. Let's throw these down. And of course, as expected, you get these type of weapons, the hairpin and the osprey and the Philion as the higher scores. And that's what I like about doing stuff like this and being able to translate things I do for work into things I do for fun. So I know some people will ask me, because I've been asked while I was working on this, well, that's all well and good. How do I access this? Well, I can share the Power BI file. I'm not sure how the best way to do that would be. So if somebody else has done it, that'd be great, because I can't publish this out and share it without having to pay for a license to do so. So for now, I'm going to try to come up with a way that I can share this easily. It is a little bit of a learning curve as far as doing it, but I'm also open to suggestions on, what else do you want in this, or how could it look better? Like right now, I'm wanting to, for the arc, it'd be fun to have, like, okay, we say a bastion's got 2050 health, it'd be fun to be able to calculate how many shots with a Pharaoh is it going to take, right? Or with top for stat stuff, we can add something in like budget, okay? Because I have the values of each one in there. I have the values for accessible for how much each item costs to craft and things like that. I know I'm not great at the UI side. And also, if you see anything wrong in the data, let me know as well, because this isn't straight from the game, these numbers. So it's not going to be 100% accurate. So I will put out the more ideas I have, and hopefully I get something from y'all. And also I'm planning on doing this for the Battlefield 6 dashboard that I've been working on as well. And thanks for watching. I know a lot of this stuff can be dry, but to me, I love it.